What's up, guys? It's me, Sam, aka Starjix. Welcome back to another video. Today, we are inside of MLB The Show 25, and we a little franchise. So today, we're going to be doing a custom team. We moved the Tampa Bay Rays. They're no longer in Tampa. They are now in Nashville. They will be the Nashville Stars. They moved. They couldn't get it situated. They couldn't get it situated in Tampa. They couldn't get it situated in Tampa Bay. So now they're on their way to Nashville, Tennessee. So they struggled mightily in Tampa. The roof came off Tropicana Field during Hurricane Milton, and the Rays decided to move. So here we are. Coming off an 80 and 82 season last year, they dealt with some injuries. They traded away some star players. So this team, which has good development, they're finally moving on. They're finally I guess you could say they're finally in a rebuild phase, which is interesting to say. So let's take a look at their roster. So we'll break it down by picture. Shane McClanahan is the ace of this rotation. He's an 82 overall. He made his MLB debut. In 2021. He missed all of 2024 with Tommy John surgery. So he's going to be the picture that we're going to kind of build around. He is 27. He's still under contract for 2 more years after 2025. Might give him a contract extension, but haven't figured that out quite yet. Then Ryan Pepois, or Pepois, however you say his name, he's going to be the number 2 picture going into this. He's all right. He's got some decent stuff. Nothing great. He was brought over in the Tyler Glasnow trade. He was brought over to Tampa. He had a decent 2024. Could have been worse. I mean, 3.6 ERA. That's not terrible, but it's not like the best thing in the world. His best season was 2023 with the Dodgers, but he only played 8 games. So I believe he started 3 games there. So he'll be interesting to watch. Taj Bradley, I have high hopes for him. He's going to be one of the people I build around in this franchise. I know he was a highly touted prospect when he was. He's had some MLB experience. He just hasn't been consistent in his MLB. Here, as you can see, he had a 5.59 basically. So hopefully he can turn that around. Shane Baz, he stepped up last year mightily. He had a whip of 1.06 and an ERA of 3.06. So he's another guy I might try to build around in the rotation in this franchise. He's under team control through 2028, so got some good stuff there. Zach Littell is going to probably be our number 5 guy. Might see what happens here. He had a decent year last year. Joe Boyle might be a fun little. Oh gosh, he was with the A's the last 2 years. We'll see what happens with him. We'll see. He's got some solid stuff. He's got a nice 4-seam fastball. So, see Dylan Lesko. He was brought over in the I think it was the Blake Snell trade, or one of the trades they made with the Padres. So he's going to start in Durham. He hasn't played in the MLB yet. I'm high on him. We'll see what happens. And other than that, there's really no other major pitching prospects. Bullpen could use some work. Garrett Cleavinger returns. Edwin Uceda, who had a great season last year with Tampa, to lead Tampa into this new era with Nashville. Drew Rasmussen, also been pretty good, pretty solid. He had a pretty solid picture throughout his career. He was brought over from Milwaukee in 2021 when they traded Willie Adames. So, closing picture, Peter Fairbanks. I might look to move him at the deadline. I don't know. It'll depend on how he does, because he's solid, but I feel like if he has a great year, he only has 2 years left on his contract, so could move him. Catcher, they brought Danny Jansen in the offseason. I believe it was, what, a 2-year or 1-year deal. So hopefully he plays well enough. I could flip him at the deadline. I see this as a rebuilding team, so I'm going to try to, maximize players' potential as I can. After him, it's not good. Ben Rortvedt, he was not great last year with the Rays. I mean, he's nothing more than a depth piece. He was born in Wisconsin, though, so, but, see there. First base, Yandy Diaz, he's got another 2 year. I might flip him at the deadline, too, if he has a great year. He's been one of the consistent hitters for the Rays, having his best year in 2023. He had 22 homers with 78 RBIs. That 932 OPS, on his way to look at all this stuff he won in 2023. Silver Slugger, batting title, and All-Star. And an All-Star appearance. So definitely going to build around. He is a little on the older side, so I definitely might try to move him. It's hard to believe doesn't feel like he's been in the league since 2017, but he has, for whatever reason. Don't really got anyone notable behind him. Brandon Lau, he might be the guy I finally flip. I don't know. He's 83 overall. He is 30. He's been he's been fairly consistent the last few years. I mean, he's had 21 homers each of the last 2 years, so the average doesn't say much, but his OPS has been pretty solid over his career, so definitely a guy who I might try to flip everyone who's on like a 1 or 2 year contract, see what value I can get for them, and go from there. So obviously we know Brandon Lau, what he's capable of. He's been one of the better defensive second basemen. Jonathan Aranda, I know he had some hype to him before he got called up, but he's really not had it translate at the MLB level. I might keep him in the MLB. I don't know. I might send him back down just in the off season just to give him some time to, develop more. I'll have to look at the rest of the roster. Third base, Junior Caminero had an okay year last year with the Rays. Nothing great. Hopefully he can develop, because he's a guy in this franchise I want to build around. So hopefully, he can develop into something. Like, that's the hope, anyway. So, I guess we'll see there. Brayden Taylor, this guy might be fun. I mean, he's 6'5" overall. B potential. 22 years old, so at age, he's got decent defense. Not great. Hitting could be better, so it'll be something to watch. Curtis Mead, what happened to him? He once was touted heavily as a prospect too, but he has not been able to translate it at the MLB level. 612 OPS in his career, it's just not been good for him, So hopefully he can turn it around one day too. I remember shortstop Hassan Kim, they signed him to a 2-year contract in the off season a few weeks ago, so he's also been fairly inconsistent in his career with his stats, so hopefully, hopefully he can be the guy, the shortstop the Rays paid him to be. I might keep him another year, try to maximize his potential, because he's still really good. Look at his stats, he's a good defender. So hopefully he can, translate. We got Jose Caballero too, who he also wasn't great last year with the Rays. He was brought over in the Luke Raley trade from Seattle. So we'll see how he does. He is 28, so I don't think I really have much for him anymore. So Taylor Walls, I remember he had potential. He was supposed to, they called him up originally in 2021 after they traded Willie Domuth before a situation with a player I'm not going to detail, but he just hasn't been able to translate at the MLB level. I might start him in AAA. I'm not sure yet. Now this guy might be the guy to watch. Carson Williams. He's 60 overall. potential, but look at that defense. 86 fielding, 75 arm, 79 reaction. The defense is there. You just got to get that back developed. After being a first-round pick in 2021, he could be our shortstop of the future. We'll have to see how he develops throughout this franchise. Left field, Richie Palacios. He also hasn't been that great of a player. He's a decent defender. He's someone who, I hope he can have a decent year. I mean, we don't really got anybody else. Christopher Morrill, Christopher Morrill can play pretty much any position. You can play him at second, third. I might put him in the starting lineup as like the third baseman just because I want to get him some playing time because I think he can be a good player. He is only 25. He didn't have a great year last season, but it didn't help that he was traded mid-season. I mean, he had 21 homers, so his best year by far was 2023 with the Cubs. He had an 821 OPS. He had 26 homers, 70 RBIs. So this is the player that I think he can be as a 2023 Cubs self. They brought him over when the Cubs got Isaac Paredes in what was a really weird trade. That arm on defense, my goodness. Yeah, so he's definitely going to be a building piece, hopefully. They signed Eloy Jimenez. What a fall from grace. Like, look at these numbers. Like, look at his numbers through three of his first 4 years. Even 2023, he wasn't terrible. His issue was like with that's why his stats were so good, because he was hurt for the rest of the year, so he couldn't really do much. He just dealt with injuries, and he just wasn't very good. They only got him for 2 years. They only got him for 1 year though, so you might see him up at the major league level, but I wouldn't count on it. Center field, Johnny DeLuca. Maybe I'll put Morrill in center field just so we can. I don't know. Johnny DeLuca hasn't been very good at all. He's 71 overall, C potential. Defense is there. That defense is great, but that bat not so much. So, guess we'll see what happens with them. Then they got 2 older rookies who we don't need to really go into depth with. And then at right field, Josh Lau. He 71 overall, B potential. He's played the good chunk of the last few years with the Rays /Stars. Had his best year in 2023. Look at these numbers: 20 home runs, 83 RBIs. It's also the only time he's played over 130 games in this season. So hopefully, he can develop. I'm a fan of this guy. I hope he can develop into something. Performs better in playing night games. So I can only hope that they play a lot of night games. So, yeah. That being said, I'm just going to go explore the lineup. So this is the lineup probably going to roll with. I know I said, though, I'm probably going to move Christopher Morrill to center. And then against righties, we'll throw Richie Palacios in there. And DH, yeah, this is how you know. This is how you know you're in a bind. My DH is Jonathan Aranda. But that's because, well, we really don't got anybody else who can do it. This is going to be a work in progress lineup. So we're going to have Josh Lau lead off, Ha-Seong Kim bat second, Yandy Diaz at third, Lau as cleanup, Morrill, Caminero, Aranda, Jansen, Palacios. That's not a good team. I mean, we got 380-plus overall players, and then the rest are just there. So, not expecting much this first year. We're going to go to the... Oh, I already went to the lineup. Now we're going to go to the rotation. McClanahan, Pepla, Bradley, Baz, Little. I think there's going to be I think the rotation is going to be the strength of the team this year. That bullpen could be serviceable, too. You can see we haven't determined the close. Edwin, you said it's probably going to be our closer, but I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens there. So we'll see what all happens there. Before we do anything, let's look at our prospect list. Carson Williams is our number 1. I didn't even look at this dude. Xavier Isaac. 60 overall, B potential. I don't know if this dude's really going to be someone to build around. Because, yeah. So, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. Oh, Theo Gillen. I didn't even view this dude. Oh, he hasn't played in the minors yet. So, I guess we'll see what happens. So, like I said, this was pretty much just meant to be an introductory, video, nothing too major. So, hope you guys like what you saw. Next episode, we're gonna try to figure out what to do from there. So, if you guys like what you saw, don't forget to hit the like. If you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.